Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're looking at the ultimate roadmap and itinerary for launching a business. Think of your business idea like a massive cross-country road trip. You wouldn't just hop in the car, hit the gas, and hope for the best without a map, right? Well, today we're decoding the two most critical navigation tools you are ever going to need: the business plan, which is basically your high-level blueprint, and the detailed project report, or DPR, which is your highly analytical turn-by-turn itinerary. Okay, let's dive into this. Here is the roadmap for what we're covering today. First, the blueprint for success, followed by knowing your audience and the elements of a business plan. From there, we'll shift gears into the detailed project report, and finally wrap up with building your DPR. Let's get going. Section 1. The blueprint for success, defining the roadmap. Starting a venture blindly, without a proper guide, it's literally like trying to navigate a complex maze while completely blindfolded. You really have to ask yourself three basic but absolutely crucial questions. Where am I now? Where am I going? And how on earth will I get there? If you can't answer those clearly right off the bat, you're simply not ready to launch. A robust business plan is the only way to answer these systematically and, more importantly, avoid some major bumps in the road. It forces you to take a step back, put all your assumptions on trial, and honestly assess if your big idea actually makes sense. So, what exactly is it? At its core, a business plan is a written document that integrates all your functional plans. We're talking marketing, finance, human resources, the whole shebang. It acts as a roadmap to direct a venture's future course and, crucially, to secure investment. But here's the thing, it is not just a one-and-done piece of paper that you print out and stuff in a desk drawer. No, it's a living, breathing document. Good management reviews and revises it constantly, usually quarterly or every 6 months. It serves as a techno-economic feasibility study that anticipates how funds will flow and lays out both your short-term tactics and long-term strategies. And this quote brilliantly illustrates the true value of all this planning. It is better and cheaper not to start a bad-fated business than to learn through a failed experience. Honestly, the ultimate value of a business plan is defensive. It prevents a catastrophic, very expensive failure before you spend a single dime. How? By forcing you to do the research, plan ahead, and identify any fatal flaws on paper instead of out there in the unforgiving real world. Section 2. Knowing your audience, the passengers. Now, it's absolutely crucial to remember that this document isn't just for you, the founder. It has to satisfy multiple critical stakeholders who are essentially coming along for the ride. A truly successful plan has to step outside the entrepreneur's shoes and satisfy three very distinct perspectives. First, there's you, the entrepreneur. You naturally focus on creativity, the technology, and articulating that brilliant core vision. But then you have the marketers, and they ask the brutal question, will someone actually buy this thing? Founders often overlook this, but you must view your business through the eyes of the customer. And finally, there's the investor or lender perspective. They're actively scrutinizing the risk, the overall viability, and exactly when those future revenue streams are going to hit your bank account. You've got to address their skepticism head on when you're writing this. So why does this actually matter to you? Well, because a strong plan is an absolute magnet. It attracts funding from banks, venture capitalists, and angel investors, all the people who rely on it to evaluate risk. Beyond money, it helps secure strategic alliances with other firms who want hard proof of your viability before they commit to a partnership. It even attracts top-level professionals and talent to come work for you. And maybe most importantly, it sets critical performance benchmarks to guide your decision-making through those completely make-or-break initial 3 years of operation. Moving on to Section 3, Elements of a Business Plan, the Vehicle. Okay, so now that we know why we need it and exactly who was reading it, let's break down the specific components you need to actually build this vehicle. What's really interesting about this comprehensive list of 12 elements is how it forms the complete anatomy of a business. From the introductory page all the way down to the financial plan and appendix, this framework ensures you leave absolutely no stone unturned. Let's group these elements together to see how they actually function. First up, we have the concept and marketing elements. You always start with an introductory page stating your business name, your financing needs, and a confidentiality statement. But the executive summary? Wow, that is arguably the most critical piece of the entire document. It's a concise 2 to 3 page summary designed to hook investors immediately. If this isn't crystal clear and super compelling, investors simply will not read the rest of the plan. Fact. Following that, you detail your industry analysis to assess competitors, a thorough business description covering your mission and any unique patents, and a comprehensive marketing plan outlining your exact pricing, distribution, and promotion strategies. Next, we dive into the operations and HR elements. This right here is where you prove you aren't just a dreamer, but that you can actually build and deliver your product effectively. The production plan covers the physical layout, machinery, and your specific raw material suppliers. The operations plan details the actual chronological flow of your goods and services. Then, your organizational plan defines the legal form of ownership and lines of authority, while the human resource plan estimates your manpower needs and lays out precise job descriptions. Essentially, this section proves you've got the operational backbone to pull this off. Finally, we hit financials and risks. Look, you must include an honest assessment of risk, clearly outlining potential weaknesses and your contingency plans for when things inevitably go wrong. But make no mistake, the financial plan is the most heavily scrutinized section of all. It determines true economic feasibility. It requires meticulous three-year cash flow projections, anticipated sales, and a projected balance sheet to show your financial condition at a specific point in time. You then back all of this up with an appendix full of your raw market research, leases, and supplier contracts. Section 4. The Detailed Project Report, the turn-by-turn itinerary. Let's move along and see how our vehicle transitions into the final phase of launching a venture, the DPR. So the crucial point here is really understanding the distinct timing and purpose of these two different documents. The business plan focuses on initial techno-economic feasibility, right? It's the broad strategy you use to attract early interest and secure initial buy-in. The detailed project report, or DPR, on the other hand, is drawn up after the investment decision has been made. It's the final, most important stage of the pre-investment phase. It contains highly accurate, deeply analytical data required by banks and financial institutions for final, concrete financing. The basic difference? It's all about the absolute level of accuracy and the intense degree of detail. And Section 5. Building your DPR, packing the trunk. So this is where you finally put the car in drive and submit the official paperwork. At this stage, financial institutions require absolute precision regarding where every single penny is going. The DPR starts with granular entrepreneur details, mostly because you're essentially a stranger to the bank, and they need your full background. It demands exhaustive project details, covering exact locations, civil works, and process designs. You have to thoroughly analyze your raw materials, detailing their indigenous availability, quality, price, and exactly why you chose specific suppliers over others. And you must map out your utilities. I'm talking calculating exact requirements for power, fuel, and down to the exact drop of chilled water and effluent waste disposal. On top of that, labor costs usually constitute a massive percentage of overall project costs. Because of that, the DPR requires a highly specific manpower estimation. You must strictly classify your labor requirements into skilled labor, semi-skilled labor, unskilled labor, and administrative staff. You've got to provide the total cost of labor, analyze competitive wage rates, and provide a fully detailed organizational chart. The bank needs to see exactly who is doing the work on the floor and what it will cost to keep that workforce going. Now, take a look at this number, 0. In the context of a DPR's financial assessment, 0 is a vitally important concept. It represents the break-even point, the exact moment your business experiences no profit and no loss. A detailed break-even analysis is a mandatory calculation in the DPR's financial section. Knowing exactly when you hit 0 dictates the survival timeline of your entire project. It's how you prove to lenders that your business model is mathematically sound. Ultimately, the DPR culminates in some really heavy-hitting analytics. Your technical details have to mathematically prove capacity utilization and the technical expertise required, while the financial details meticulously outline the total cost of the project, your means of finance, the internal rate of return, and precise payback periods. Also, a lot of institutions require a social angle, a socioeconomic evaluation of the project's broader impact on the community. And while formats might vary slightly depending on exactly which financial institution you are applying to, these core analytics always remain the ultimate objective measure of whether your project is viable. Which brings us to our final thought today. Is your business idea ready for the ultimate stress test? Taking an idea from a creative spark, turning it into a structured business plan, and finally building it into a funded, highly analytical, detailed project report, it is a rigorous journey. But it's really the only true way to navigate the road to success and secure the resources you need. Take a hard look at your blueprint, crunch the numbers for your itinerary, and ensure your venture is actually built to survive the ride. Thank you so much for exploring this vital roadmap with me today in this explainer. Keep planning, keep analyzing, and keep learning.